Do I still believe that Enjin could hypothetically reach the price of $10 during this bull run? The answer is yes, even though that's not financial advice. And the reason being is because I believe that Enjin is actually one of the premier projects when it comes to blockchain gaming. Because when you think about this, sometimes people like to say that, oh yeah, wow, Enjin is focused on a bad market. I disagree with that. The blockchain gaming market, according to Grandview Research, is predicted to be worth over $300 billion by 2030. I mean, let's just let that sink in, right? That's bigger than some countries' GDP. And this could very well just even be a conservative estimate. Because really, when we take a look at traditional gaming, it's massive. But you add blockchain gaming, this could be the next big thing. And you got to think about Enjin, right? At its core, what is it really focused on? Enjin is focused on giving creators and developers the ability to launch top-tier Web3 games and applications. So yeah, that's how special Enjin is. Now, some people like to argue that, hey, Enjin doesn't have the best adoption out there. It's not the most interesting in all this. Well, in the world of cryptocurrencies, as of right now, people don't usually care about current adoption. They more so care about what something could be moving forward. It's like, for instance, Solana is a very good layer 1 blockchain, but the adoption isn't like it's number one or anything like that. But when you think about it, Solana does have good perceived future adoption, which is why I think it's doing so well. And when it comes to something like Enjin, I think it's no different. People usually care about anticipated adoption as opposed to current adoption, and Enjin is focused on the right market because just imagine, once blockchain gaming really kicks in, and once that narrative really sets in, Enjin, it's going to be there to catch the wave. It's not like Enjin is going to see the best adoption in the next 6 months to 10 months, but it doesn't really matter because I think it has good future anticipated adoption, which I think could play into such a big narrative for it during this bull run. Now, let's take into consideration as well, Enjin adoption, despite not being the best, it has had some pretty decent ones. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because for instance, currently Enjin has already been involved with amazing gaming projects such as Lost Relics, The Six Dragons, Nine Lives Arena, and of course many others, but I'm just highlighting those ones. But yeah, that's how amazing Enjin is, relatively speaking. It's not like Enjin is going to, again, see the best adoption in the next 6 to 10 months, but this is really good, and I like that. I think the direction in which it's heading is very positive. And now, not to mention, Enjin has already been involved with something called Azure Heroes, which is Microsoft's very own digital badge rewards program. And yeah, you heard that right. I'm talking about Microsoft here. Like, hashtag Bill Gates, if you know, you know. This is how amazing Enjin is. Now, this partnership, in a sense, I would call it, right? It's not like it's the best of all time, but when you take a look at just how massive Microsoft is, they're not going to partner with any random thing, in my opinion, right? Of course, they do their research. They have a team making decisions. They do their due diligence. That's basically what I'm saying. And when it comes to Enjin, the way you take a look at it is that it basically passed, Microsoft's due diligence, right? In order for something like that to happen. Not to mention, when we take a look at Enjin, there's something called the Enjin blockchain. Now, the Enjin blockchain is actually very good. Some people like to say that it's a waste of resources or whatever, but I disagree with that because, for instance, right, it can currently facilitate over 5,000 transactions per second, and it's even able to process upwards of 2,000 mints per transaction, which I think is actually very impressive. Not to mention, it's very cost efficient. It has an average transaction cost that is less than a penny. So, just let that sink in. Less than a penny, right? This is how amazing Enjin is. So when I take a look at Enjin as a complete package, I think it's very wonderful. But let's not forget as well, right? It's focused on other two markets, or should I say two other markets other than just, blockchain gaming. The first being NFTs, which the NFT market is predicted to be worth over $200 billion by 2030, yet again, according to Grandview Research. And when we take a look at the metaverse, the metaverse is predicted to reach up to $5 trillion in value by 2030, according to McKinsey. So when I take a look at it, yes, people would argue that, hey, the markets that Enjin is focused on really doesn't have the best hype as of right now, like, for instance, blockchain gaming, NFTs, the metaverse. I totally understand that, but I think it could be a big narrative, again, moving forward, which is why I do like Enjin. And when it comes to Enjin, really, I think it's a very solid project. Listed a bunch of major exchanges. So I still believe that it's a very solid project at the end of the day. It's not a project that's here for fun or anything like that. It's an actual serious project. And what I do like about it, or should I say something else that really adds value, I would say, in a sense, when it comes to Enjin as a project, is the fact that it has a very good community. The community is rock solid. It feels like a meme coin type of community, if anything. And this is not a bad thing, by the way, because usually when we take a look at meme coins, the community is usually very amazing. They're very cheerful. They do, have a lot of passion for the project. And I do see that when it comes to Enjin. But then the thing is, Enjin isn't a meme coin. So it's kind of amazing to see that. And this is something that really can't be designed for, in my opinion, because let's say I'm developing a project. Yeah, sure, I can design it to be focused on a good market. I can design, let's say, good fundamentals for it. But then something that I can't preemptively design is, let's say, like people latching onto the project, right? It's like, let's say someone makes a product. Can it be predetermined that, hey, there's going to have a lot of fans and all this? It can't really be done, right? So the way you take a look at it is that when it comes to something like Enjin, it kind of lucked out in that sense. It's lucky in a sense that the community and the following is really good. And then the project's also good. So it's kind of like a bonus, It's kind of like a pepperoni and cheese pizza. That's what I like. This is very fantastic. So the way I view it is that when it comes to something like Enjin, it's a big thumbs up for me. And at the price of $10, it's really not that crazy in my opinion. Despite the price pullback, I do believe that this still isn't that insane, because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $18 billion, which isn't even 50% allegedly of Shiba Inu's all-time high market cap, which reached around 40 billion back in 2021, let alone something like Dogecoin, which reached over 80 billion that year as well. So I don't think it's too much to ask for. Now, keep in mind, right, $10 is around an 82x from here. I mean, that's kind of crazy to think about. But I don't think it's even that crazy to even fathom this, because even if we take a look at Charles Hoskinson, who not only is the co-founder of Ethereum, but the founder of Cardano, according to him, he does predict that in the next 1 to 2 years from November of last year, in 2024, he did say that he could very well see Bitcoin reaching anywhere between $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. So I think the journey is still far from over. That's as the best case scenario that potentially or hypothetically happening in November this year around that time. And I don't think this date is really that outlandish, even based off of history, because we do know that altcoins usually, as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. And the last Bitcoin halving event happened back in April of last year. So 18 months from then would actually mean around October this year. So the way I view it is that, again, it kind of fits in line with that. This isn't a guarantee or anything like that, because history isn't always going to repeat itself, but I think it's a good benchmark if anything, and I'm going to pay attention to near the end of 2025. I think better days are ahead, and especially with, the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption, I do believe that this born could be very special, and I think 2025 could be a very fantastic year, but only time will tell really, but I'm still staying patient. I'm not giving up. Anytime I earn income, I'm acquiring, I'm holding, I'm just waiting, because Enjin at the price of $10, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.